Johnny here for Johnny's Car Care and Advice. So today I'm going to be talking about the Bronco, and I'm not going to go through every single model and all the potential options you can have for those models because one, the video would be way too long, and this video is meant to be a buyer's guide. It's meant to help you pick out the right Bronco for you. So what I'm going to do is through a series of videos, I'm going to go through each model and the options that are available on that model and give you a great idea of what kind of price that's going to make for you based on the Bronco that's right for you. So today's video is about the Bronco base model. I think it's a great model. I think Ford has done a fantastic job at offering a lot of great equipment on the base model. Just to give you an example, on the base model, you can select the 2.7 liter EcoBoost engine. That's a twin turbo, 6-cylinder engine. It's got a ton of power, and I'll get into that later during the video. I'll cover the power specs of both motors. The base comes standard with a 2.3 liter, 4-cylinder engine. Now, a lot of people are kind of coughing at that, but that 2.3 liter, 4-cylinder engine is actually used in the Ford Ranger and makes for a good truck. It has a lot of pulling power in the Ranger, 7,500 pounds. So I'm not worried about this engine. It has 310 pound-feet of torque, and that's best in class. So it's a good engine, and the 2.7 liter V6 twin turbo engine is just incredible. And you can have that on the base model. Now, Ford listened to its customers. It listened to the fan base. So the Bronco is going to be available with a 7-speed manual transmission. So a lot of people are really happy about that. Now, that manual transmission, though, you can only have on the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder engine. But once again, that 2.3 liter is a very good engine. It doesn't have mind-blowing power the way the 2.7 liter does, but it's a very good engine, and the 7-speed manual transmission is going to have a crawl mode. That's one of the 7 speeds. It has a crawl mode, so that's going to be really great for doing off-road driving. Now, getting back to the base model, Ford has really equipped this quite well. Now, if you are looking for, a really fancy, posh interior, this isn't the model for you. It comes standard and only has the option of cloth seating. So, if you're looking for your really posh interior, a whole lot of comfort, this base model probably isn't the right model for you, but this is the right model for you if you're looking for an off-road machine, because you can get the Sasquatch package. So once again, Ford not letting down their fans are allowing you to save money by getting the base model. And if all you really want to do is either go off-roading or have an off-roading look, a really aggressive look, you have the Sasquatch package that's going to come on 35-inch tires. It comes with unique special mags that are ideal for off-roading. So, I'll get into that later on in the video, but I think the base model is a great starting point. It does have, a very nice interior. The seats look good. The 8-inch touchscreen, I'm surprised that the base model actually does get an 8-inch touchscreen, because when you look at the Ford Ranger, when you go to the base model, or the XL as it's called in the Ranger, you have a 4-inch non-touch screen. So you just have a 4-inch screen. It does the job, but it certainly doesn't have the looks of the 8-inch screen. So if you're looking for a video that's going to help you pick out the right model of Bronco for you so that you can get your order in, this is going to be the model. So we're going to go through price, we're going to go through options, and today we're covering the base model. But in later videos, we'll go one model at a time. We'll cover them all because you just can't do justice to each model by trying to cover them all. There's just too much to cover, so we'll get into that in just a moment. So let's jump right in. This is the look of the base model Bronco. It's not a look that's going to appeal to everyone, but I think a lot of people should consider this model because if you just buy some aftermarket mags and tires, some mud tires or some LT tires, depending on your use, this would have a great look. Now, this is the essential Bronco. That's what they're saying on the Ford websites, and it's the base. You can modify it as you wish, but later on in the video we're going to go through some pricing and what happens when we do modify the base model, and the pricing actually comes really close to a far more exciting model. So my recommendation at the end, I'm going to recommend which model you can get instead of the base model, instead of putting in all that money into a base model, modifying it in a way in which you actually like it. So I'll get to that later on at the end of the video. So the base model sells for 40,499 Canadian, or about 30,000 USD. It comes with 4x4, intelligent 4x4, so that's Ford's 4x system. It's probably going to be very, very similar to what's in the F-150, so this is going to be amazing in the snow, no worries at all. But the base model doesn't come standard, or it's not even optional to have things such as heated seats, heated steering wheel, a bigger touch screen. You can't have leather, you can't have the vinyl. So the base model really is, as its name says, it's base. It does a good job. It does come standard with the 2.3 liter engine, and I'll be covering its power, which is actually quite impressive. But if you want to make this thing special, you're either going to have to buy your own mags and tires, or just get the Sasquatch package, which will give you 35-inch tires and special mags. I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. What I do want to mention here, though, is that the base model does come with an 8-inch touchscreen, and it has a whole lot of look. It's got that amazing Bronco look. So for the money, for 40,500 Canadian or 30,000 US, you're getting a great vehicle. However, I really don't recommend trying to upgrade it to the point that it has a ton of look, because at that point you're better off just going with another model, and I'll suggest which model near the end of this video. Now, getting back to that engine, the 2.3 liter that Ford has been using on the Explorer, the Mustang, as well as the Ford Ranger, is a great motor. It has 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. So that torque is best in class for the Ranger, and it looks like it's going to be best in class for the Bronco too. So, I know a lot of people are thinking, it's a 4-cylinder, this thing's going to be slow. I've driven the Explorer, I've driven the Ranger, and actually this engine in the Lincoln Corsair is amazing. It really propels the vehicle quite well. Now, of course, this is going to be quite a bit heavier than the Lincoln Corsair, so I'm thinking it's going to do the job the way it does the job in the Ranger. Now, let's cover color. So when it comes to color, I'm just going to let a few images play by. Maybe there's a certain color that catches your eye, but I think what's really eye-catching in all of this is the huge difference that mags and tires, so tires and wheels, the huge difference that tires and wheels do for the look of the vehicle. You look at those 16-inch steel wheels that will rust in winter. They don't look great. But then, you switch over to a Sasquatch package like this one here, and the mags change, the tires change, and the whole look of the vehicle has changed as well. Now, please take note, the front ends of these vehicles that we're seeing aren't all the base model. This is the image, the front view, the side view, and the rear view of a base model. So you're not going to have painted fender flares. Those fender flares are matte colored. They look like flat plastic. They're not painted. Just keep that in mind. The base model, you can't have that. You'd have to go to the Outer Banks model to have those fender flares painted. But it's just amazing to see the difference that mags and tires does to the look of this vehicle in particular. Now, on all the models, you know, no matter what color you're taking here that we're still going through, no matter what model you get, you can have the 2-door or the 4-door option. Now, the 4-door option adds $3,500. So you need to really think about that long and hard if you really need those extra 2 doors for 3,500 Canadian, or about almost 3,000 US. And the base model Bronco comes with a soft top. So you can get a hard top even for the base model. It's 800 Canadian or about 600 US, but it's not going to come with the sound deadening materials, and that's an extra option that you'd have to consider adding on. Now we'll get into the transmission. The Bronco comes with Ford's 7-speed manual transmission. This 7-speed is new. The 7th speed is a crawl gear, and that crawl gear ratio is best in class. So you're really going to have a breeze when going off-road. And you have the 10-speed that is optional. It's a $2,000 Canadian option or a $1,600 US option. Now that 10-speed is shared with many other Ford models, and actually was originally developed with GM. So GM and Ford built this transmission together. Ford has been using it on the Super Duty trucks, the F-150, the Ford Ranger, the Mustang, the Explorer, all sorts of models really. So this is tried and true. So it's not a new transmission, nothing to worry about there. And it actually shifts really well, really smoothly. And with this 10-speed, you have the first 3 gears acting as low-end, high-torque gears, great for off-roading or pulling. And the last gear is a fantastic overdrive gear. Now let's get on to the 2.7-liter engine. The 2.7-liter engine is an absolute beast. This is a 6-cylinder engine with 2 turbos with an amazing amount of low-end power. So under 3,000 RPM, you have all of your torque available. 400 pound-feet of torque. This 2.7-liter engine has been used on the F-150 for a number of years now. I've driven it many times. I love this engine. Actually, I have a Mustang GT 5-liter, and I would take this 2.7-liter in it anytime, any day, because of that low-end torque being just so incredible. It really gives you instant power. It's very impressive, and people are going to love this engine, and Ford's offering it as an option, and it's only a $2,000 option, so really not very much money for the amount of fun this is going to bring. It's a lot of bang for your buck. However, it does force you to take that 10-speed automatic transmission option. So if you do take the 2.7-liter and you wanted the manual, well, then you will notice the price increase significantly because you need to pay for the automatic transmission and the 2.7-liter engine. But before we go and start adding everything we can possibly add onto the base model, which will make me raise the question of whether it's worth at that point just getting another model altogether, let's cover what that base model gives us exactly. Well, it gives us the telescopic steering column, push button start, an 8-inch touch screen as we see in that photo, cruise control, power doors and power windows, and a rear view camera. So it actually comes really well equipped. A lot of little gadgets that, make this model a really nice model. Really, its only downfall are those steel rims. And that brings us to the last package we can add to the base model. And it's my favorite. It's the Sasquatch Package. So the Sasquatch Package is giving you those 17-inch black, high-gloss painted forged aluminum bead lock capable wheels. So that's a set of mags and tires really made to take you off-roading. Comes with a 4.7 final drive ratio with electronic locking front and rear axles. So your diff in the front and back lock, which helps you get out of really bad situations. The Bronco is going to be higher. It's going to have higher clearance. Your fender flares are going to be wider to cover the width of those tires. You're really going to have a real off-road machine. And if you don't off-road, well, you're going to have the look of an off-road machine. But keep in mind, gas mileage does go up when you run big, wide tires. So if you're looking for fuel economy, this isn't the right package for you. It's also not the most posh package because you'll still have cloth seats, and even if you take the Sasquatch package, you don't have an option of a different interior. Now, if you do take the Sasquatch package, you're going to get a hard roof, and you will get those storage bags for your roof. Now, if you're looking at US dollars, the purchase of this package is going to cost $7,685, whereas it's a bit more if you're buying your Bronco in Canada. In Canada, the Bronco package is going to add $9,745, and if you take it with the 2.7 liter EcoBoost, you're up to $11,000, basically $12,000. And at that point, really, you got to ask yourself, should I just get a Wildtrak? Because a Wildtrak is absolutely set up for off-road. The Wildtrak is the highest trim level. It'll allow you to have, for almost the same amount of money, if you take the base Wildtrak versus a base model in which you've added the 2.7 liter engine, which forces you to have that 10-speed automatic, so there's a cost to that, and the Sasquatch package, you're only a few $1,000s off the price of a Wildtrak. But the Wildtrak is going to be much more of a collectible model, more sought after. The hood is going to have its own personal hood decal to let everyone know, you've got a special edition on your hands. And it's also going to come with more creature comforts inside. So at that point, I really think it's worth, going straight to the Wildtrak instead of beefing up and modifying and taking every package available on the base model. And you see here in the photo, this is the interior of a base model, so it's basically all gray and black, whereas the Wildtrak has really a unique interior. So you see in Canadian, $11,745 to have a base model with the 2.7 liter EcoBoost. And now if you go with a Wildtrak, you're going to get that remote starter. And besides the remote starter, you're also going to have LED headlamps. So, right off, we can start seeing that going to a Wildtrak is a better option. It's better for your money. Either way, in both cases, you're going to have best-in-class departure and breakover. So, the angle in which the vehicle takes those rocks on in the front and the height of the vehicle is best in class if you take either the Sasquatch package or the Wildtrak package. And that Sasquatch package really does increase the price significantly because of the fact you have to take an automatic transmission. But if you're just going to get a Sasquatch package and not take the 2.7, well, then it makes a lot of sense to get the base model plus Sasquatch package. Here's a list of the various models. You can see the Wildtrak is about $58,000. The Sasquatch package in the US is $5,790 US. But in Canada, it actually adds about 9,700, adding the Sasquatch package, and then the 2.7 liter engine option is about $2,000. So once again, just to remind you, if you're going to add the 2.7 and the Sasquatch, just get a Wildtrak. The price difference will end up being about $5,000. Either way, in both instances, you're getting the LT 315s by 7017. Those mags are fantastic. The wheels look great, but they will make your gas mileage go up quite a bit. So that's just a review of the prices again. And wanting to talk about something that's pretty important, if you don't get the Wildtrak, but you get the base model, well, you're going to have electronic shift on the fly. That means you can switch between 2 high, so rear wheel drive, to 4H or 4 high, which is the 4x4, intelligent 4x4 mode, while you're driving the truck. You don't have to be stopped. You don't have to be in neutral. So you have that option on the base model. And the base model comes with a 2-speed transfer case with neutral, which allows you to tow this vehicle behind an RV. So if you want to tow this vehicle on its 4 wheels in neutral, if you want to pull the Bronco, then you can bring it along wherever you need to bring it along. So that's, pretty rare these days and a really nice option that Ford has offered. Now, here's the interior of the Wildtrak. You can definitely see that right off, if you get a Wildtrak for your extra, give or take $5,000 or $6,000, you're gonna get something special. It's not just a hood decal. The interior looks different. You've got that sandstone two-tone interior. You get an AC 400-watt power outlet in the back. You get built-in navigation, but the Wildtrak also offers you a lot of customization, a lot of options that aren't offered on the base model. Now, looking at some of those options on the Wildtrak, you're going to get all this extra equipment in that $5,000 to $6,000. So, the dual zone electronic automatic temperature control is something that a lot of people are looking for. You get a bit nicer finish because the interior will have ambient footwell lighting. I'm not going to read off the whole list. You can pause the video and look at all of the extra equipment that you're getting, but remote start, reverse sensing system. It's a lot of little things that a lot of people are looking for. And in the end, that's the price of the Wildtrak. So you're at $56,494 instead of about $52,000 if you build up the base model with the Sasquatch package. But the Wildtrak comes with so much more. It's not just about being able to add leather if you want leather in the vehicle, which you can do to the Wildtrak and can't do to the base model. I think the Wildtrak has so much to offer, and it's actually the most expensive Bronco, and it's going to be the next Bronco that I review. So I'm going to go from reviewing the most basic model, the base model, the standard version. We've covered everything that this vehicle has. We haven't covered all the accessories you can get because the list is kind of endless, but we've covered what it offers, the base model. And really, I think my recommendation is either get the base model as a complete, base model, add very little to it, maybe buy your own mags to give it its own look. Instead of the 16-inch, you could go with a nice 17 or 18-inch set of aftermarket mags. But if you're going to do anything else to it, you should probably consider other models. So soon we'll have a video on the Wildtrak. Thank you. And I hope this video has helped you and will help you know which Bronco model is the right Bronco model for you.